At 2:15 p.m. on August 12, 1940, Flight Lieutenant Geoffrey Page climbs into his Hawker Hurricane fighter at RAF Kenley, Southern England, his hands already trembling. 21 years old, 17 combat missions, 3 confirmed kills. 400 Luftwaffe aircraft crossed the English Channel. Messerschmitt Bf 109 fighters. Junkers Ju 88 bombers. Dornier Du 17ths in tight formation. Kenley sits 12 miles south of London. If it falls, the capital lies exposed. Britain has been at war for 11 months. Fighter Command has lost 108 pilots in 3 weeks. Geoffrey Page grew up in Meafam, Kent. His father managed a small estate. Geoffrey learned to fly at 18, joined the Royal Air Force Volunteer Reserve at 19. He enlisted because German bombers were already appearing in the skies over his childhood home. The British Expeditionary Force evacuated from Dunkirk 10 weeks ago. France has surrendered. Britain fights alone. Fighter Command loses pilots faster than training schools can replace them. The average combat life expectancy for a Hurricane pilot is 4 weeks. Page's Hurricane Mk-I carries 8 Browning .303 caliber machine guns. Maximum speed, 318 miles per hour at 18,000 feet. The aircraft weighs 6,647 pounds fully loaded. The Rolls-Royce Merlin 3 engine produces 1,030 horsepower. The temperature at ground level reaches 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Clear skies. Visibility 15 miles. A perfect day for the Luftwaffe. Number 56 Squadron scrambles with 11 Hurricane fighters. They form up at 15,000 feet. German radar stations across the channel have already detected them. The Luftwaffe knows exactly where they are. Conventional tactics call for altitude advantage. Dive on the bombers. Break away before the fighter escorts react. But today, the Germans come in high. Their fighters sit at 22,000 feet. The British climb into a trap. Page sees them first. Black dots against the white clouds. Too many to count. His radio crackles. Squadron leader calls targets. Page's section breaks left. A Messerschmitt Bf 109E drops on him. The German fighter carries 2 7.92 mm machine guns and 2 20 mm cannons. The cannons fire high explosive rounds. One hit can tear a Hurricane apart. Page throws his aircraft into a hard turn. The Hurricane groans. Metal creaks. His vision tunnels as G-forces crush him into his seat. The Messerschmitt overshoots. Page reverses. Gets his gun sight on target. Fires. Tracers arc across the sky. The Messerschmitt trails smoke. Pulls away. Page doesn't follow. Another fighter drops from above. Then another. He's alone. His section scattered. Radio fills with shouts. Warnings. Screams. He climbs. Tries to gain altitude. His engine strains. The Hurricane wasn't built for this. German fighters swarm. He counts 6. Then 8. They take turns. One attacks from above while another comes from the side. They work together. Professional. Methodical. Before you know how Geoffrey Page's situation turned out, please hit that like button. It helps us share more forgotten stories like this one. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Let's continue. Page fires at a Messerschmitt crossing his nose. Misses. His ammunition counter drops. 200 rounds left. 150. He needs to break off. But there's nowhere to go. Enemy fighters surround him. A German pilot positions himself perfectly. 600 yards behind. Textbook firing position. Page sees him too late. He throws the Hurricane into a dive. The German follows. Closes the distance. 500 yards. 400. 300. The first cannon shell hits Page's fuel tank. The explosion occurs at 2:31 p.m., 16 minutes after takeoff. The 87-gallon fuel tank sits directly in front of the cockpit, between the engine and the pilot. 3 inches of aluminum separate Geoffrey Page from burning aviation fuel. The tank ruptures. High-octane fuel sprays across the cockpit, coats the instrument panel, splashes across Page's face, soaks his uniform. The liquid is cold. For 1 second, he thinks he might survive. Then the fuel ignites. Temperature inside the cockpit reaches 1800 degrees Fahrenheit in under 2 seconds. Page's leather flying helmet catches fire. His goggles melt into his face. His gloves burn through. The skin on his hands turns black. Splits open. The fat underneath bubbles. He screams. The sound doesn't carry over the engine noise. Flames fill the cockpit. He can't see the instruments. Can't see the sky. Only fire. Orange and white. Consuming everything. His hands stick to the control column. The burned flesh fuses with the hot metal. He pulls them away. Leaves skin behind. The pain is absolute. Total. His nervous system overloads. His brain can't process the signals. It interprets them as cold. Freezing cold. He shivers while he burns. The Hurricane falls. Nose down. Picking up speed. 300 miles per hour. 350. The wind feeds the flames. Makes them hotter. The fire spreads to his legs. His chest. His face. Page knows the procedure. Bail out. Pull the canopy release. Unfasten the harness. Roll the aircraft. Fall clear. Count to 3. Pull the ripcord. He reaches for the canopy release. His fingers don't work. The tendons are burned through. His hands look like claws. Blackened. Useless. He tries again. Uses his whole arm. Slams his forearm against the release lever. It moves. The canopy slides back. Air rushes in. The flames roar louder, hotter, fed by fresh oxygen. He unfastens his harness. The buckle is hot enough to cause third-degree burns. He doesn't feel it. Everything is already burning. He can't feel anything anymore except the cold. The terrible freezing cold that is actually heat beyond measure. The Hurricane spins. He's thrown against the side of the cockpit. His shoulder hits the metal frame. He doesn't register the impact. He only knows he needs to get out. Get out of this burning coffin. Get out before he dies. He rolls the aircraft inverted. Gravity pulls him down. Out of the seat. His legs catch on something. The oxygen tube. Still connected to his mask. The mask melted into his face. He pulls. The tube breaks. He falls. The slipstream catches him. Tears him away from the Hurricane. He tumbles. Ground. Ground. Spinning. The air temperature at 15,000 feet is 20 degrees Fahrenheit. The wind against his burned skin creates new agony. The cold air hits exposed nerve endings. He blacks out. Comes to. Blacks out again. He needs to pull the ripcord. His right hand is destroyed. Fingers curled into rigid claws. He brings his left hand to his chest. Finds the ripcord handle. The D-ring. He pulls. Nothing happens. He pulls again. Harder. The parachute doesn't deploy. He looks down. Can't see the D-ring. Can't see his hand. His eyelids are burned away. The exposed eyeballs dry in the wind. He blinks. There are no eyelids. His eyes start to close involuntarily. The body trying to protect something that's already destroyed. He pulls the ripcord a third time. Uses both arms. Both ruined hands. The parachute deploys. The canopy fills with air. The harness jerks against his burned body. New pain. Different pain. He screams again. The descent takes 6 minutes. 6 minutes of consciousness. Of awareness. Of knowing exactly what has happened to him. He looks at his hands. They're black, red, white in places where the bone shows through. He can see his own radius and ulna. The 2 bones of the forearm. They're charred. He tries to grab the parachute risers. Can't. His hands won't close. He dangles. Helpless. The wind carries him east. Away from the airfield. Toward the sea. Page hits the water at 2:43 p.m. 12 minutes after the fuel tank exploded. The English Channel. August cold. 58 degrees Fahrenheit. He goes under. The parachute harness pulls him down. He kicks. Breaks the surface. Gasps. Swallows seawater. Goes under again. The salt water touches his burns. He convulses. His body tries to vomit, but there's nothing in his stomach. He kicks again. Reaches the surface. The parachute canopy spreads across the water. Pulls him sideways. Drags him under a third time. He needs to release the harness. The quick release box sits on his chest. He brings his hands to it. Can't feel the metal. Can't feel anything. He looks down. Sees his hands pressing against the release. They don't look like hands. They look like burned meat. He pushes. Nothing. Pushes harder. The release opens. The harness falls away. He's free. And drowning. His Mae West life preserver didn't inflate. The carbon dioxide cartridge failed. Or he failed to activate it. He can't remember. Doesn't matter. He's in the water. Burned. In shock. Dying. He treads water. His legs barely respond. His feet are burned through his boots. Every kick sends signals to his brain. Pain signals. Endless pain signals. He keeps kicking. Survival instinct. The body refusing to quit even when the mind has given up. Something yellow appears. 30 yards away. A life raft. Dropped from an RAF Air Sea rescue aircraft. The Lysander circling overhead saw his parachute. Saw him hit the water. Dropped the raft. Page doesn't know this. He only sees yellow. Sees survival. He swims. Uses his arms. Can't use his hands. Brings his arms forward. Pulls water past his body. Advances 6 inches. 12 inches. The distance seems impossible. The raft drifts. Moves away from him. He swims harder. Slower. His coordination failing. His body shutting down. A wave lifts him. Pushes him toward the raft. Another wave. He reaches it, touches the rubber with his forearm, tries to grab it, can't, wraps his arms around it, holds on, just holds on. He can't climb in, can't pull himself up, his arms have no strength, his hands have no grip. He floats beside the raft, hugging it, waiting. The Lysander circles. They see him. They can't land. The channel is too rough. They circle. Drop another raft. Drop emergency supplies. Can't help him. 37 minutes pass. Page loses consciousness twice. Wakes up choking on seawater. Goes under. Surfaces. His grip on the raft weakens. His arms slide. He starts to let go. An engine sound. Different from the Lysander. Deeper. Closer. A Royal Air Force rescue launch. Motorboat 270. 37 feet long. 3 Napier Sea Lion engines. Maximum speed 36 knots. The crew saw the Lysander circling. Came to investigate. They pull alongside. See Page. See his condition. The coxswain radios ahead. Burns. Severe burns. Need ambulance. Need hospital. 2 crewmen reach into the water. Grab Page's arms. He screams. They pull him aboard anyway. No choice. Leave him and he dies. They lay him on the deck. Cover him with blankets. The blankets stick to his burns. Fuse with the damaged flesh. He screams until his voice breaks. Then he screams silently. Mouth open. No sound. The launch runs at full speed. 28 knots. The deck pounds against the waves. Each impact jolts Page's body. He stares at the sky. Can't close his eyes. Can't blink. His exposed eyeballs dry in the wind. Start to cloud. His vision fades. He thinks he's going blind. He is going blind. They reach Margate. Lift Page onto a stretcher. Load him into an ambulance. The Royal Navy surgeon at the port takes one look. Shakes his head. Tells the driver to hurry. This one won't make it. The ambulance races to Royal Masonic Hospital in London. 43 miles. The siren wails. Page hears it. Faint. Distant. He's somewhere else now. Somewhere the pain can't reach. His body is failing. Blood pressure dropping. Pulse weak. Irregular. The medic in the ambulance starts an intravenous line. Saline. Morphine. Keeps him alive just barely. They arrive at 4:17 p.m. 2 hours and 2 minutes after Page's fuel tank exploded. Doctors cut away his uniform. The fabric has melted into his skin. They cut away the skin with it. No time for gentleness. He needs surgery. Multiple surgeries. Right now. The intake nurse documents his injuries. 3rd-degree burns. 70% of body surface area. Face, scalp, neck, hands, arms, chest, legs. His nose is gone, burned completely away. His lips are burned off. His eyelids destroyed. Both ears damaged. His fingers are charred to the bone. The chief surgeon is Archibald McIndoe, 39 years old, pioneering plastic surgeon. He specializes in burns, aviation burns. He's treated 43 burned pilots this month. None as bad as this. McIndoe examines Page, calculates survival probability. less than 5%. Page has no eyelids. His eyes will dry out, go blind within days. He has no nose, no way to breathe properly, no lips, can't eat, can't drink. His hands are destroyed. Even if he survives, he'll never fly again, never write, never feed himself. Makindo looks at Page's chart. 21 years old. Fighter pilot. 3 kills. He looks at Page's face. What's left of it? Makes a decision. We're going to rebuild you. The first surgery lasts 9 hours. Makindo removes dead tissue, cleans the wounds, begins the reconstruction. He can't replace everything. Not in one operation. Not in 10 operations. But he can start. He takes skin from Page's chest, the few unburned patches, grafts it onto Page's face. The skin won't match, won't grow properly, but it will cover the exposed muscle and bone. Keep infection out. Keep Page alive. He constructs temporary eyelids. Uses skin from Page's abdomen. Thin skin. Delicate. He sews it over Page's eyes. The stitches go through the orbital rim, into the skull. Page is unconscious. Will be unconscious for 36 hours. Doesn't feel it. Makindo builds a temporary nose. Uses cartilage from Page's ribs. Shapes it. Covers it with skin grafted from his shoulder. The nose won't look right. Won't function properly. But it will allow Page to breathe. That's enough. For now. The hands require different techniques. The fingers are too damaged to save. Makindo amputates the dead tissue. Leaves the thumb and 2 fingers on the right hand. 3 fingers on the left. Covers the stumps with skin grafts. The grafts probably won't take. The blood supply is too damaged. But he tries anyway. Page survives the first surgery. Surprises everyone. Infection sets in on day 3. His temperature spikes to 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Antibiotics. Sulfanilamide powder. Direct application to the wounds. The infection subsides. Returns. Subsides again. Second surgery. Day 12. Makindo revises the facial grafts. Adds new skin. Builds up the nose structure. Creates a more functional shape. The surgery lasts 6 hours. Page survives again. Third surgery. Day 28. The eyelids. Makindo replaces the temporary grafts with permanent ones. Uses skin from behind Page's ears. Thinner. More flexible. Constructs working eyelids that can actually close. Actually blink. Page will be able to protect his eyes. See clearly. Fourth surgery. Day 45. The hands. Makindo creates functional grips. Uses tendon transfers. Muscle grafts. Allows Page to hold objects. Not with precision. Not with strength. But enough to function. Enough to live independently. Between surgeries, Page begins rehabilitation. Learns to walk again. His leg burns healed poorly. The skin is tight. Restricts movement. Physical therapists work with him. Stretch the scar tissue. Break up the adhesions. Page screams during every session. Continues anyway. He learns to feed himself. Uses the reconstructed hands. Drops the spoon 40 times before he succeeds. Continues practicing. Drops it 30 times, 20 times, 10 times. Eventually manages to eat a full meal without assistance. He learns to dress himself. Buttons are impossible. Zippers barely possible. He adapts, develops techniques, uses his teeth, uses his wrists, uses anything that works. Fifth surgery. Day 79. Facial reconstruction. Makindo builds new lips. Uses tissue from inside Paige's mouth. Rotates it outward. Creates a mouth that can smile. Can speak clearly. Can eat normally. Sixth surgery. Day 96. Nose revision. Makindo adds definition. Creates nostrils that actually function. Uses cartilage grafts. Skin flaps. The nose will never look normal, but it looks human. That matters. Paige sees himself in a mirror for the first time on day 103. Makindo warns him first. Prepares him. Nothing prepares him. The face looking back is wrong. Distorted. Scarred. The eyes are his. The structure underneath might be his. Everything else is new. Grafted. Reconstructed. He stares for 11 minutes. Doesn't cry. Can't cry. His tear ducts were destroyed in the fire. He just looks. Studies this new face. This stranger's face. His face. He asks Makindo when he can return to flying status. Makindo laughs. Stops when he realizes Paige is serious. Explains the situation. The injuries. The limitations. The medical impossibility of a pilot with these injuries ever flying combat again. The Royal Air Force will never clear him for duty. He'll receive a medical discharge. A pension. That's the best outcome. Paige refuses to accept it. Demands reconsideration. Demands evaluation. Demands the chance to prove himself. Makindo recognizes the determination. Sees something beyond stubborn pride. Sees a pilot who needs to fly the way other men need to breathe. Makindo makes a call. Pulls strings. Arranges for a medical evaluation. Flight physical. The examining doctors fail Paige immediately. Vision impairment. Manual dexterity insufficient. Facial scarring presents oxygen mask fitting problems. Denied. Paige appeals. Takes the physical again. Fails again. Appeals again. Takes it a third time. The doctors admire his persistence. Still fail him. Medical standards exist for reasons. He doesn't meet them. Can't meet them. Paige trains anyway. Finds a sympathetic flight instructor. Practices in a Miles Magister trainer. 2-seat aircraft. Dual controls. The instructor can take over if Paige fails. Paige flies for 15 minutes before his hands cramp. The reconstructed fingers can't maintain grip on the controls. He lands. Tries again the next day. He flies for 30 minutes. Then 45. Then an hour. His hands develop new calluses. Over the scars. Over the grafted skin. The tissue toughens. Adapts. He learns to fly with limited grip strength. Uses his wrists. Uses his forearms. Develops new techniques. Seventh surgery. Day 148. Hand revision. Makindo improves the grip. Adds functionality. Uses experimental techniques. Tendon rerouting. Nerve grafts. The surgery works. Partially. Paige gains another 30% grip strength. He takes the flight physical a fourth time. Different doctors. Different location. He doesn't mention his previous failures. Doesn't mention his injuries unless directly asked. Wears long sleeves. Keeps his gloves on. Controls his facial expressions. The scarring is obvious. Impossible to hide. But he minimizes it. The doctors notice. Ask questions. Page answers honestly. Shows them his hands. Explains his limitations. Demonstrates his adaptations. Proves he can fly. Can fight. Can serve. They pass him. Conditionally. Limited duty. Training command only. No combat operations. Page accepts. It's a start. He returns to operational flying on April 3, 1941. 7 months after being shot down. Assigned to number 52 Operational Training Unit. Teaches new pilots. Combat tactics. Survival skills. Everything he learned the hard way. He hates it. Training command is necessary. Important. He wants combat. Wants to face the Luftwaffe again. Wants to prove something. To himself. To them. To everyone who said he'd never fly again. 8th surgery. Day 212. Facial refinement. McKindo continues the reconstruction. Adds subtle improvements. Better symmetry. Improved function. The surgeries will continue for years. 15 total. Each one bringing Page closer to human appearance. Never all the way, but closer. Page applies for combat duty. Denied. Applies again. Denied again. Pulls every string he can find. Calls in every favor. Finally gets approval. Number 132 Squadron. Supermarine Spitfire MKV fighters. Operating from Hornchurch. Offensive operations over France. He reports for duty on September 8, 1941. 13 months after his Hurricane exploded. The squadron commander looks at Page's face. Reads his medical file. Asks if he's sure about this. Page confirms. He's sure. First combat mission. September 12th. Fighter sweep over northern France. Page flies as wingman. Stays in formation. Sees enemy fighters. Engages. His first shots miss. His hands shake. Not from fear. From nerve damage. The reconstructed fingers don't respond precisely. He adapts. Fires earlier. Anticipates the shake. Leads the target more. His second burst hits a Messerschmitt Bf 109F. Sees strikes on the fuselage. The German fighter breaks away. Page doesn't claim it. Didn't see it go down. Doesn't matter. He engaged. He fought. He survived. Second mission. Third mission. Fifth mission. Page flies 43 combat missions with number 132 Squadron. Records 2 confirmed kills. 4 probables. His hands never fully recover. His face never fully heals. He flies anyway. German intelligence reports note a British pilot with severe facial scarring. Spotted in gun camera footage. Cockpit photos taken during combat. They analyze the images. Can't identify the pilot. Can't understand how he's flying. Someone with those injuries shouldn't be combat capable. They request more information. British pilots shot down and captured are interrogated. Asked about the faceless pilot. Most don't know who they're talking about. A few do. Refuse to provide information. The Germans remain confused. Page transfers to number 421 Squadron in April 1942. Continues combat operations. Flies 17 more missions. His final tally: 60 combat missions after being burned. 5 confirmed kills total. 8 probables. He never speaks about his injuries unless asked directly. Never uses them as an excuse. Never mentions the pain. The constant pain. The itching. The tightness of the scar tissue. The headaches. The vision problems that develop over time. He just flies. Page leaves combat duty in August 1942. Medical officers finally ground him. Not because he can't fly. Because continued stress will kill him. His body is breaking down. The grafted skin deteriorating. Infections recurring. He needs rest. Long-term care. More surgeries. He accepts assignment to Training Command. Becomes chief instructor at number 52 OTU. Trains 214 pilots over the next 2 years. Writes tactical manuals. Develops new training procedures. Saves lives by preparing pilots properly. He undergoes surgeries 9 through 15 between 1942 and 1945. McKindo continues refining, improving, building a face that approaches normal. The final surgery occurs in March 1945, 2 months before Germany surrenders. Page meets other burned pilots during his hospital stays. Men with similar injuries, similar stories, similar struggles. They form an informal group, support each other, share techniques for dealing with the scars, the stares, the questions. McKindo formalizes the group in 1944, names it the Guinea Pig Club. Membership requires treatment by McKindo for serious burns. The club grows, reaches 649 members by war's end. Page becomes a founding member, serves as secretary. The club provides more than social support. Members help each other find employment, navigate relationships, deal with public reaction. Page visits newly burned pilots, tells them his story, shows them his face, proves survival is possible, recovery is possible, life is possible. He receives the Distinguished Flying Cross in 1941. The citation mentions his return to combat duty despite severe injuries. The award ceremony occurs at Buckingham Palace. King George VI presents the medal. Looks at Page's face. Doesn't flinch. Doesn't stare. Treats him like any other decorated pilot. Page marries in 1943. Diana Faulkner, a nurse who worked at Royal Masonic Hospital. She saw him at his worst. Saw the initial injuries, the failed grafts, the infections. Married him anyway. He leaves the Royal Air Force in 1946. Rank: Squadron Leader. Joins British South American Airways. Flies commercial routes. 4-engine Avro Lancaster converted for passenger service. His scarring doesn't affect his airline career. He flies for 11 years. Perfect safety record. The Guinea Pig Club continues after the war. Becomes a permanent organization. Annual reunions. Mutual aid. Advocacy for burned veterans. Page serves as chairman from 1956 to 1963. Helps hundreds of members transition to civilian life. He writes his autobiography in 1981, Tale of a Guinea Pig. The book describes his injuries, his recovery, his return to combat, sells 43,000 copies, introduces the Guinea Pig Club to the public, generates donations, support, recognition. Page returns to RAF Kenley in 1990, 50th anniversary of the Battle of Britain. He's 71 years old. Stands on the airfield where he took off that August afternoon. Remembers the hurricane, the fire, the water, everything. A reporter asks if he regrets returning to combat, if the additional risk was worth it. Page thinks for a moment, looks at the sky, says no regrets. He did what needed doing, what any pilot would do. Geoffrey Page dies on August 7, 2000, 81 years old. Natural causes. His funeral occurs at Kenley. Full Royal Air Force honors. 15 Guinea Pig Club members attend. Some in wheelchairs, some with canes, all with scars. His obituary in the Times runs one column, mentions his service, his injuries, his recovery, his contribution to the Guinea Pig Club. The headline reads, Squadron Leader Geoffrey Page, DFC, Battle of Britain pilot who refused to quit. The Guinea Pig Club continues operating. Still meets annually. Membership declining as veterans pass away. But the legacy remains. McIndoe's techniques. The support network. The proof that severe injury doesn't mean the end. Page's hurricane, the one that burned, was never found. Probably disintegrated on impact. Scattered across the English Channel floor. His second hurricane, the one he flew after recovery, survived the war. Scrapped in 1947. Nothing remains. But the medical records survive. 15 surgeries documented in detail. Before and after photographs. Surgical notes. Recovery timelines. Medical students study them. Learn from them. Apply the techniques to modern burn victims. The German intelligence reports also survive. Filed in archives. Recently declassified. They describe the faceless pilot. Express confusion. Request clarification. No clarification was ever provided. Page's face appears in photographs from 1945 onward. The scarring is visible, always visible, but the face is functional, human, alive. McIndoe's masterwork, 15 surgeries, 5 years, rebuilt from nothing. If you are watching till now, then, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Every single person who likes the video counts to YouTube to show this story to more people. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications. We're discovering forgotten stories from dusty archives every single day. Stories about pilots who refuse to surrender to impossible injuries. Real people, real heroism. Drop a comment right now and tell us where you're watching from. Are you watching from the United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Australia? Our community stretches across the entire world. You're not just a viewer. You're part of keeping these memories alive. Tell us your location. Tell us if someone in your family served. Just let us know you're here. Thank you for watching. And thank you for making sure Geoffrey Page doesn't disappear into silence. These men deserve to be remembered, and you're helping make that happen.